This week's tip is really more for people who are outside of the industry, but if you're in this industry, a private investigator specifically, you may find it very helpful. Hi, this is Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com and the creator of the Investigator's Ultimate Guide series, which is premium private investigator training from someone who's been there and done that. The question this week, and I get this in my email, I get this in comments all the time, people wanting to hire me, or they're asking for how do I find a good investigator in my area. And definitely how to hire me, no, that's not going to happen ever. How to find a good investigator in your area, yes, okay, that's something that we really want to address, and that's the real question, that's the accurate question. Of course, you need to know there's no silver bullet answer to this. There's no one place you can go, one resource, one accreditation that means that that investigator is going to be the right one for your case. So usually I suggest find your state private investigator association and contact them and ask for some references, ask for some people who specialize in what you're interested in. Generally speaking, the investigators who take the little bit of money, and when you're starting out and when you're an investigator, it can seem like a lot of money to pay those annual dues to be in your state association, especially you may not seem like you're getting a lot of benefit out of it, but for people who are looking for an investigator, that's one place that you can kind of weed out some people who aren't willing to put in that little bit of extra effort or money. So try the state association where you are. The other thing is to just start with a list of private investigators in your area and start calling down the list, talking to different investigators. If you're price shopping as you go down that list, you're going to get a whole different response from people. Investigators get that all day long, people calling, asking how much we charge for this, that, or the other. So you're going to get a little difference rather than if you lead with saying, hey, I have this particular case or problem. Is this something you specialize in? After you, even if you go first to the state association and get a list of people who they think might be right for you, you have to kind of do that telephone interview part and ask them different questions. And you're going to want to know, do they specialize in this? When's the last time they worked a case like this? How often do they work a case like this? Those are very important questions because a lot of investigators try to be a jack of all trades because honestly you need to make money, you need to bring clients in. So there are investigators who will kind of step outside their comfort zone and pick up cases that they're not super proficient in. So an investigator may not really be comfortable with accident investigations, but he's done some, so he says, yeah, I can help you with that. Versus an agency that does a lot of accident investigations. Another question you might want to ask of a potential agency is, who's going to be working for you? Is it going to be that primary investigator? And a lot of detective agencies are one man, one woman shops. There's just the investigator. And if you're dealing with that person, then you know, okay, this is the lead investigator. This is the person who holds the license. They've got some experience. They've been tested by the state. That should be good for you. It's not necessarily bad if they give your case to an employee to work on because theoretically they have vetted that employee, but make sure that they have experience working the specific type of case that you have for them. So if you're a private investigator, how does any of this information help you? I would say seriously consider being a member of your state association. I wasn't for years and years. And honestly, I'm not sure that it helped me from the business perspective, but it greatly helped me from the networking perspective and from a credentials point of view. And not so much because I was able to say that I'm a member in good standing of the state association, but because as soon as I came on, I had been going to the meetings every month, even as a non-member. They were gracious enough to allow me to do that. They had nothing to hide from other investigators or the public for that matter. So they let me come to meetings. I just couldn't afford to join. And it wasn't that much money. I feel a little silly. I'll admit to you, I think it was $120 a year. And I had trouble in the early days. It just didn't seem like the right place to put 120 bucks. Eventually I did join, become a member, and I ended up on the board of directors very quickly because I was engaged and I was present. Nothing special about me. I was just there. And that, being on the board of directors, that definitely did help with networking and credibility for potential clients. So as a private investigator, kind of be looking at that as a method for increasing your hireability for someone who is doing their due diligence, calling around to see if you're the right investigator for them. And while all of that is very nice, don't forget the number one thing, you have to be ethical about all of this. Nobody wants to hire someone who's a cheat or who's lazy or who's going to cut corners on the case. That means it comes right back to what I share with you every week as I close out these videos. This is Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com. Remember, do the right thing. even if it's the hard thing.